Hi there. Welcome back to the Freak Show podcast. I am your resident freak, Jeff Borschowa. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how AI has helped me. Generative AI has been a godsend. I think I've spent my entire life waiting for it. As someone who is neurodiverse, and again, your results and your mileage may vary, but for me personally, I've been using a lot of generative AI to truly understand who I am, how I think, how I react, basically the deep, deep questions. And I will say that a lot of it has been guided by the work of Carl Jung and Dr. Doug Brackman. Um, the reality for me was I find I can be very intense, I can be very hyper focused, and I tend to annoy people when I am both intense or focused. So I looked at it from the perspective of, am I annoying them? Are they annoying me? And the answer was probably a bit of both. But the big thing for me was to take some assessments that I have. So I know my Kolbe score, I know my Myers-Briggs, I know the I think DISC from way back when. I've got a few of these assessments kicking around, and honestly, they were useful but not helpful. And again, not judging them, but it was just I didn't know what to do with the knowledge I had. So on the Myers-Briggs, I'm an INFJ, which predominantly means it's how I view the world, how I interact with the world. It's got a lot of clues in there. Um, the I stands for introvert. I can tell you sincerely, I recharge best quietly. Give me a book and I'm in heaven. Send me out in public and make me go peopling. I am drained very quickly. So knowing that, I schedule my day, I plan my day, but the INFJ was huge. Now, the biggest one was understanding my Kolbe A score. I am a 4592. Now, you don't need to know Kolbe well. All you need to know is that I'm a moderate fact finder with moderate follow through, high quick start, and on the end, I am very abstract. I live in the world of possibilities. I don't need or want concrete. So, what I've discovered in all of that is people who are high fact finders, they ask 1,000 questions about the minutia of something. I don't want to spend time with them. They don't want to spend time with me. We just annoy each other. The follow through piece, I can pretty much communicate with anybody. On the high quick start, I get impatient with people who are low quick start because by the time somebody says we should finish or start or do something, by the time they finish that sentence, I've probably got a first draft done. Now, that's not to say my first draft is perfect, but I experience the world with let's create something, test it, measure, move on. Whereas most people will spend months planning something. I want to get it out in the world and get some feedback. And then the last part, the I can't remember what the actual last one is called, but I think it's basically, do we need high level theory or do we need deep, concrete, practical, hands-on stuff? I do very well with the concepts and the abstract. So if you're explaining to me how to build something, you buy a kit from IKEA and you're going to build a piece of furniture, I've probably got it built by the time you finished reading the instructions because I can see the pieces and how they fit. Again, not judging anyone as better or worse. It's just looking at how things fit. So knowing all of these things about myself, and believe me, I have a custom GPT that is trained to help me with self-reflection. It's to identify my blind spots. It's to identify biases and things like that. And yes, there is a slight risk of what's the word? Sycophant responses, but I've trained mine to not do that. By the way, I am very much autistic and ADHD. So I've also trained all of my AI models to give me candid feedback. I do not want sugarcoating. I do not want, oh, you're great. If I'm not, I would. So I've trained all my models to be very candid. And by the way, that's something I'm also training myself on, is to be less candid with other people. When somebody says, give me the blunt truth, that doesn't mean beat them to death with it. Sorry, that's my default. I blame it on genetics and biology. But I am learning. And that's what I'm finding above all else with generative AI. I'm able to communicate better because I can take the candidness that is me, my gut first reaction, I can filter it through a little bit. I actually created a little dial, and 0 is complete candor, which, honest to God, when others experience it, the description I got from that was, it was a little like taking a sandblaster to my soul. So that's my 0. That's my default. That's what I engage with myself because that's what I value. I want candor. I want honesty. I want to improve. And then I've got a dial all the way up to 10, which is, basically the sugar pill version. Most people, when they tell me they want candid, somewhere around 6 or 7 is as candid as they can take. I like working with nonlinear thinkers like myself because we can skip all the fluff and the nonsense and get straight to the heart of things. So if you're using generative AI as somebody who's a nonlinear thinker, I personally believe our brains and generative AI work very, very much alike. I tend to, we can go broad, we can see all the ideas at once, we can focus down on 1 or 2 key ideas. Hyper focus, I think, is probably a fair statement. And honestly, there are certain phrases and words that I overuse because they're comfortable. And I will say every now and then I glitch and I will hallucinate because I'm half listening to something while I'm trying to solve something else. It seems like I'm erratic or distracted or something like that. Honestly, that feels like a Tuesday using most generative AI. So that's my little goal today, is to show you that AI, in my opinion, it is a great tool to help us nonlinear thinkers communicate to linear thinkers. I've created some translator tools and things like that, but we can have a lot of fun and we can learn about ourselves while learning how to fit into this world around us a little bit better. So if you're a nonlinear thinker and you're not using AI, I really heartily encourage you to explore it a little, just test the waters. It has helped me become clearer in how I think, how I communicate, and it's given me a definite edge. Now, for the record, I also recognize that it is still a large language model and it will average down. So it's up to me as the adult in the room to make sure that what we produce together is, in fact, my voice and my unique vision. Hope that was helpful, and I'd love your comments below on how you're using various forms of generative AI to either be clearer in your thinking or more creative. Thank you.